Today we're going to be talking about the M13 that was recently buffed, but on top of that we're going to be looking at it from a little bit of a different perspective, and these are class setups that were taken directly from my community tab. And what I said on the community tab is that I was planning on doing a few videos showcasing multiple class setups for one weapon. Which weapon should I start with? Feel free to leave your class setup as a comment. Might be featured in a video. And as you can see, the M13 dominated with half of the votes. So the first class setup I tried was a class setup sent in by Fungus, and their M13 class setup was the monolithic suppressor, the Tempest marksman barrel, the 60 round mag, stippled grip tape, as well as that M13 skeleton stock. So pretty much for all the class setups that I took from that comment section, I just grabbed them as is, played with them, kind of saw how they felt so I can give a general idea of what I thought about the class setup, whether it's one I'd actually recommend using or one that I think you should actually avoid. And I really like this class setup a lot, primarily because you do have that suppressor on there, so you're able to stay off the compass. If you combine this with Ghost, you'll be able to stay off that mini map when you fire the weapon as well. As far as the Tempest marksman barrel, that does give you a little bit of recoil control and range, so that kind of makes it so you don't have to have an underbarrel if you do want a little bit less recoil. The 60 round mag, I don't think it's really necessary because you do end up moving around a little bit slower, so I'd recommend maybe going with the 50, but the 60 round mag felt perfectly fine. When it came to the stipple grip attachment, I'm a huge fan of that particular attachment. And then when it comes to the skeleton stock, you're going to get that faster aim down sight time, as well as that movement speed, which is really nice when you're using a rifle, because they can tend to be a lot slower, especially if you're more comfortable using the SMGs within Modern Warfare. So I would definitely recommend you try this class setup for the M13. Let me know how it goes. I'm sure you guys will like it a ton. Obviously you could change some things out if you want, but for the most part this is a very solid class setup, and I would recommend pretty much almost anyone use it. So the next class setup we'll be looking at is from Kel Cox, and the class setup they decided to give us was the monolithic suppressor, the Tempest marksman barrel, the 60 round mag, which is all the same as what we just saw, but instead of the stippled grip, they ended up going with that granulated grip tape and that forged tack stalker instead of the skeleton stock. So one of the biggest wastes of attachments in my opinion is to add aiming stability, because all that really does is removes a little bit of the idle sway, which for the most part isn't a huge issue unless you're just aiming down sight for an incredibly long period of time, and even then it's not a huge issue. So generally when I create a class, I'm really only trying to solve for four things. One is recoil, either if that's stabilization, which is the horizontal, or the control, which is the vertical. And the second thing you could be solving for is range, and a little bit more specific than that is effective range, and that one goes case by case depending on the deficiencies of the weapon. The third thing you can solve for is a slow reload time, which typically if a gun has a very slow reload time like the crossbow or a lot of the LMGs, just use sleight of hand, that's going to cut it down significantly. And generally that last thing that you're solving for is overall mobility, so that could be your strafe speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed. There's a lot of different things that go into mobility, and that is something you're going to want to solve, especially if you're using a weapon that's a little bit on the slower end. You're going to probably want to invest some time into that, because the time to kill in this game is so fast that if you don't have those right attachments on, you could be gunned down before you actually even draw your weapon. So even though the weapon was very usable with this class setup, I think those last two attachments were complete waste because they went towards aiming stability instead of one of these four deficiencies that I just talked about. So in case it wasn't clear, I would not recommend you try this class setup. So the next M13 class setup we'll be looking at is from Jonathan Castillo, and their class setup was the Tempest Cyclone barrel, the tactical foregrip, the 50 round mag, stippled grip tape, and no stock. And this class setup is actually pretty fire. I tried it out. I figured it would do pretty well because it's pretty much solving for all those different variables that I talked about with the previous class setup. It takes care of the mobility by having no stock, stippled grip, and the 50 round mag versus the 60 round mag. The tactical foregrip solves for a little bit of recoil that no stock will give you, and running that Tempest Cyclone barrel will give you a little bit of suppression action to keep you off that mini-map, which was one of the benefits we saw with the monolithic suppressor. And one of the things that's really nice about this particular class setup is that it's built more for that run and gun play style. So if you find yourself more as a rusher, definitely try this M13 class setup. So with all that being said, I want to give you guys a class setup of my own, and this is one of my personal favorites when it comes to the M13, which is going to be the monolithic suppressor, the operator foregrip, the 50 round mag, stipple grip tape, and the M13 skeleton stock. So one other side note is, even though the M13 got buffed, the M4 got nerfed, the M4 is still a better weapon, so this is just fun to mix it up. But keep in mind that if you're going up against a highly skilled player using the M4, the M13 isn't the most competitive weapon unless you only land headshots. So this is where I switch to a gameplay breakdown, kind of take you through my thought process and give you some tips and tricks on how to improve at Modern Warfare. If you've enjoyed the video up to this point, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're looking to find your way back for more Modern Warfare content, definitely subscribe with notifications on. Let's get into the breakdown. So there's a lot of things that I'm paying attention to when I'm playing the match. You can see there's a little red blip on the compass. You can see my teammates over there. Looks like he was able to take him out. I push up, jump to this head glitch to kind of get a peek, see if anyone's on that left side. And somehow I still end up taking damage from the left side. I can see kind of where that directional indicator is. I get out of the way, thinking the guy's gonna ego challenge, perfectly timed shots. Not sure if my teammate was able to land a couple shots there because that guy died pretty quickly. I'm coming around, the guy doesn't notice me up top. I laser him, and you can see that not a lot of people have ghosts in the lobby. About half of them have it, half of them don't. So when having that UAV, I'm able to have good progress on where these enemies are. I can see that my teammate's pushing up on this left side, so I waited a second. You can see somebody left the lobby, which was going on pretty often in this lobby because we ended up getting out of control pretty quickly. As you can see, the score is already 19-3. Right now, I have a good idea of where that guy is on the right. And I'm just gonna kind of wait to see if he comes out. I can shoot him in the back. I end up saving my teammate's life. And I'm debating if I want to push forward. And once I decide, you know what, let's go ahead and go for it. Let's see if I can get all the way in there, pick up some nice easy kills. And for my field upgrade, I have the ammo box, so in case I do run out of ammo, I can have that. But the alternative is to run dead silence. I come out, able to take out the first guy, I land the second guy, and this guy insta kills me. I didn't even have a chance to react. It looks like he's getting shot from the side. No big deal, I get melted by that M4. Once I spawn in, this is a little bit of an awkward spawn. It almost made me think that the enemies were on the opposite side. This guy absolutely laser off the head glitch. And this is where the M13 is strong. Obviously, it's low recoil. That guy ends up leaving the match. I'm not sure if he was frustrated by that death or what, but he ends up backing out of the match. But like I said, that is one of the strengths of the M13, is because they buffed that headshot damage, you can absolutely destroy people off of head glitches, because that's pretty much all you can hit. So that damage multiplier kicks in really hard and allows you to actually dominate those gunfights. Again, like I said earlier, if you manage to land those headshots. I'm coming around and still thinking that people are going to flank. I haven't really played on this backside of the map because even when I do play this map, I almost never ever go this deep into spawn. But I have a good feeling that it's not going to flip because of how many of them are camping in that barn area. You can see that they're getting dominated as they run out of that farmhouse. They continue to spawn in this area. It's just kind of a little bit of missed timing as I'm kind of working my way on this side of the map. I eventually work myself all the way around this right side, able to pick up a kill as the guy comes out of the barn. And why I'm walking kind of slow there for the most part is because my dead silence had already worn off, and the footsteps in this game are incredibly loud if people are paying attention to them, which many people are because they tend to kind of just post up and camp. I'm working the map, and that's really all you gotta do. Call on the UAV, and then as I come around, the only guy who has ghost surprises me. I end up meleeing him once, land a bullet, take him out, and then I kind of ego challenge as I'm strafing. You can see I get to cover, so even if I did take additional damage, I probably live to fight another day. And as I come out right here, I'm predicting where the guy is, and that's not the guy I was aiming at. It ends up being the second one, snap on, and I get that VTOL rather quickly. So I only need one more kill for that chopper gunner, and basically if you get a chopper gunner and a VTOL and TDM, you're almost guaranteed to win, even if it wasn't a blowout like this. And since I didn't see a spawn flip on this overhead view, I decided to cancel the VTOL. I'm kind of peeking out, seeing if I can get an easy kill. My teammate takes that guy out, and then I'm able to shoot the other guy in the back, which earned me the chopper gunner. And this time when I call in the VTOL, you can see where all the dots are, so I decided to put it right in the middle of there, hoping that I could probably get one, maybe two kills, and luckily that pays off in the form of 2 kills. As I'm coming up through here, I'm kind of just pre-aiming because I'm expecting him to run through. That was the guy with the riot shield. He ended up getting taken out on the outside. And you'll see that I'm strafing to the left as I take that gunfight, and I just kind of move over, hoping that I'm going to be able to run around and to get another easy kill. And it worked out that I was able to get an easy kill right here, but the other guy was way too close and I wasn't able to hit those shots for as close as they were. Now I spawn in, and I'm surprised that these spawns are these spawns, because normally when I play domination, it's going to put you way in the back of the spawn. So I would really like to see them incorporate some of these variations of spawns within domination, because currently they are a complete mess. So I plan to do another video very similar to this, but how I'm going to figure out which weapons you guys want to see is you're going to comment them down below. Whatever the most popular comments are, I'm going to make those into a community tab post and do exactly what I've done within this video, so you have a better idea of which classes you should be trying and which ones you should avoid. If you'd like to see more of this content, definitely remember to hit that like button, and if you're brand new to the channel or haven't yet subscribed for whatever reason, definitely consider subscribing by hitting the red subscribe button with notifications on by ringing that bell. And I would definitely recommend checking out the description if you're looking for more ways to stay connected, or you're looking for a discount from one of my partners. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.